like taking the balance of, well, you need money to help people, but you also need to help people. So it's like, if you can combine those two things of capitalism and, you know, what you would call socialism, but not true socialism, that's how you can really affect change. Is like, you need the, you know, if we're all poor, yeah, we're more equal, but we're all poor, versus if you create wealth, but then do it in a way that everyone can be involved. That's where I think, you know, where America can really go to the next level of being an example of, once again, being an example to the world of, this is how you create a great nation.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we also need, Danny, to stop trying to focus unilaterally on the ism or blend of isms to fix it. Our argument is a philosophical technology. If people have a better philosophic system, a lot of this falls into place. It's like the Plato idea. If you had perfect morality, you need less laws, almost no laws. If everyone were just perfectly moral, then the laws would be less and less necessary. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying citizen body believes we'll never need laws, but I think we absolutely agree that there's some blend. We already have a blend of socialist type programs. The big cutoff is the ownership of the means of production. That I think would never get to in America.
Yeah.
And that's where I think people get scared, meaning like you don't really have private business anymore, the government. Our fundamental principle of power is any concentration of power, whether it's government, whether it's business, whether it's social, any concentration of power too much is bad. So that's why every ism fails, because, you know, there's problems with communism, there's problems with socialism, there's problems with capitalism. And I tell people, take your focus off the ism and focus on whether power is concentrating, because it's sort of like the facade for the public of the ism, you know, and then what actually happens. I mean, I was just talking to someone from Cuba, and she was showing us pictures of where they lived and where she was visiting and how the people lived, and they were living completely impoverished. No car was, you know, younger than 40 years old or so. And then she said, and then these other people are living with like Bentleys and Cadillacs and just like living like royalty. Mm-hmm. And I said, well, it's communist, isn't it? And she's like, well, it doesn't feel like communism, because in her mind, communism is everybody's kind of equal. And that's the way my father described it too. But I'm like, okay, so communism gets corrupted, socialism gets corrupted, we're now dealing with corrupted capitalism here, right? The common denominator is the human morality. So that we have to be careful, this mindset that the ism is by itself going to be the solution. And that's where the citizen body comes in, because we can't just rely on policy and the ism, because name an ism that hasn't been corrupted.
Yeah, I think isms are poor descriptions of what you really need. Because once again, when you go to the isms, you take out room for context and situations and nuance. But yeah, you know, you start with the beginning. You start with the people. You start with, you know, giving them the right ways to think about things, the resources, the community. That's how you really solve that problem. Like, yeah, it's really difficult to make changes in today's politics. It's damn near impossible.
And
because
I think,
the lobbyists,
John,
the money,
Go ahead.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to say the money controls it. And when the people get poorer, they don't have the money. But by shopping small and voting small, you can start putting the money back in the people's hands. Mm-hmm. But go ahead, Sue.
I was just going to say, so, you know, kind of tying this back into what we've been talking about, which is, you know, what unites us. And it's, you know, our topic today is human responsibility. And, you know, I think, like, you know, each of us has the responsibility to, you know, bring what we bring to the table. And, you know, you said it best, John, we're unique in a way that we can either create or destroy. And that's one of the things that, you know, we have a responsibility, like, you know, which person do you want to be? What do you want to bring out of each person? What is it about your philosophy or your beliefs that you can bring to the table that are going to create something good and solve the problem versus just, you know, contribute to an existing problem or tear tear down something existing that is good.